In this video, learn how this independent retail trader went from losing money to trading profitably.
Hi, I'm Mike Bellafiore, co-founder of SME Capital, and we're a proprietary trading firm located in Midtown Manhattan. And I'm also the author of the trading classic, One Good Trade and the Playbook. Click our subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos that we're producing for you in the trading community.
Learn the changes this bright and ambitious independent trader needed to make to go from consistently losing money to growing his trading account.
Okay, so thanks for having me. My name's Sam. I started on DNA in late February, and before that, I wasn't with SMB, and it's made a lot of difference to me. I'd sent Mike a note earlier in the week, and just to say thanks, basically. It's made a real big difference to my trading, and it's nice to reach out and say these things. So in return, Mike asked me to share a playbook trade. And so this is it.
Tell me a little bit about what you've been doing previously before starting to train with us.
So I had various experience over a pretty long time, way back in the day, 10 years plus ago. I read stuff about Warren Buffett, et cetera, tried to, value investing. Nothing really serious. I moved out to the US 5.5 years ago, got myself involved with Tesla. And that sort of involved me with a growth stock for the first time. I got to know it intimately, and I feel very comfortable with the stock. But I didn't really try to start day trading seriously until late last year, in about November. And in the 6 months leading up to the end of March, I didn't have great success. And so I actually went searching for a way to improve myself, my trading, everything. And I've had really good success with the content from SMB, and actually COVID has been a really interesting time. It's allowed me to focus way more on this stuff, and I think it's made a lot of difference. Recent past, that's now 3 5-figure days as of today, so happy days. It's made a lot of difference.
Yeah, the key here is you made a change. You saw that what you were doing wasn't working for you, and you took action to make things better. That is what elite traders do. So as you continue to get better and better and better, you're going to continue to have to change. You're going to continue to have to adapt. We're doing that on our desk as well. Our best traders are doing this as well. Shark is working right now on making his trading less stressful. Swang is working on something that gives him more energy for his trading. One of the top traders that I coach outside the firm is working very specifically on his risk management. Another trader that I work with is working on stock selection. These guys are all elite traders, $1 million traders, many of them, majority of them, the worth of $5 million a year in that P&L. And they are making changes. They are not just improving, but they're making tangible changes to what they're doing. And so it's great that you're having success here. But the thing for other people to learn from this is that as you progress in your career, you're going to need to continue to make changes. You're going to continue to need to adapt and find the solutions for how you're going to change. So, terrific learning lesson for lots of other people in the trading community about the importance of change. All right, let's get into your trade.
So, big picture. This was a trade that was made on Monday this week, 5/12. And over the weekend, the SPY had hit 295, and it basically been fading all morning in the pre-market before the open. And then by 8:45 a.m., I saw a change in momentum, and it bounced off the 289 level, which had sort of been a recent support in the prior week. The last few weeks before that, we've seen a lot of volatility compression and market grinding higher, strong underlying bids. Steve has noted this many times in the weekend review and daily call, and that's been super helpful in sort of framing my thinking around.
If you want to learn 3 real-world setups that our traders use, including the simple setup that we teach all of our new traders and the setup that turned one of our traders into a 7-figure big money earner, check out the free webinar that we're currently running. Just go ahead and click the link that should be appearing right now at the top right-hand corner of your screen. That's going to open up this free registration page in the new window, so don't worry, you're not going to lose this video. You're going to learn more in a couple of hours from this trading workshop than from years of online education.
Tesla, like I said, I've followed this stock intimately for a long time. I've been involved in it, and there were several trades I could have put into this playbook. I wanted to put a nice, straightforward trade that I was really happy with, and I would like to repeat many times again. So Tesla had gapped down over the weekend. There was this sort of tweet from Elon about, that's the last straw. I'm going to sue Alameda County, and we're going to take our manufacturing over to Texas or Nevada, and it's kind of a credible threat, really. So yeah, market took a little dip there, and this is often in the context of Tesla being quite strong in the lead up to this time, but again, as usual, lots of volatility. So pre-market buyers, well, they stepped in at the Friday support. This is okay. That's the SPY 289. Yeah. But what we're also looking for is, actually that should say 789, and then stepped up to 289 before open. So what we were seeing was the possibility of a deal to reopen Fremont off the back of this tweet and the dip that was in response. So moving on there. Fundamentals here. So RVOL the day was 0.89, nothing super high. We wouldn't necessarily call it an in-play stock except for the news and the catalyst over the weekend. Average vol volume sort of 18.55 million, float 147, institutional ownership, that's quite high and usually gives you an underlying bid. Short interest, on the low end for Tesla in its history, and ATR, look, this thing can move $50 in a day and no big deal, or $49.29 to be specific.
Sam, how often are you trading Tesla?
Probably once a week, maybe a couple of times. Really depends. I'm trying to be pretty selective about the setups. In this case, I actually went with the shares. A lot of times I've used options, and that's worked out well. For example, when Elon tweeted the Friday before about selling all this stuff and Tesla being overpriced, there was a great opportunity there, and took advantage of that. So when the trades come up, I try to be there. Like I said, following it pretty closely.
Are you watching it every day, but maybe taking a trade once a week?
Pretty much, yeah. I definitely check in every day and I look if there's something that looks, something that looks like it suits me. I have a particular setup, and this is actually very close to what I like to do. Is like buying a dip and holding it to see if I can hold it, for a few hours, basically. I try to use VWAP, and we'll get into a little bit of that in the next slide.
Yeah, and I do see, if you're going to trade a high beta name, guys doing better when they track them every day. Not necessarily trade them every day, but certainly tracking them every day to get a feel for how they're moving can be very helpful for trading a high beta name like that.
And that's something I've noticed in my stats over, since I started recording them, that really I have more success, particularly with Tesla, but high beta in general. So that's something I'm sort of honing in on and trying to bring into my trading a little more. Okay, so the trade plan here was basically to watch for an early flush. I wanted to see confirmation of the support of the kind of previous day, of the lower level in the pre-market. And we got a little bit below there, but there was really such strong momentum that there was an opportunity in the end. So our ideal case was to close near the high of day, looking for 820 plus, or, if momentum fails, I'm happy to get out there and take the profit. So key levels for the morning, support 790, 786, 780. These are super relevant recent levels for the stock. And then, inflection 800, I haven't listed it there, but And then this is where I got my 820 from, was R3. I'm an optimist. So big picture, Tesla back to November. So much coverage on this stock. Everyone knew it did the big run up, and then it came back to 350 and sort of been grinding up since. So there's this anticipation of the battery day coming up as well. And, we're seeing some kind of consolidation in and around the 750s, 800. So yeah, that's a range that I've been taking note of. Closer to the date, this is kind of just this year, really, just watching that level and for me, big picture, looking for like a longer term breakout over 800 to sustain. So this is of the morning. Friday's opening low. We did test that just before open, and that's like one of these there. But when I saw this like first real momentum coming in, so there's the wick testing the Friday's low. Basically, we saw a really strong reversal momentum on open. I usually don't enter a stock this early in the game, but the plan was clear and we were right at the target. So I thought, okay, let's come in. Let's see what happens. This wick was a potential stop out area, but again, it was very quick, and so that was not triggered for me. From there, I was happy to see it, dip through VWAP, but again, recover really quickly. We're seeing that the downside momentum was really started to compress early. It didn't have any follow through. So once we really got sort of above VWAP, I was pretty happy to hold it, sort of step back. And, again, I think there were some possible opportunities to add into that, etc. But that wasn't really the plan for me on the day. So I got some notes. Basically, we had VWAP confirmed between 9:50, 10 a.m. And that, for me, I was happy to see that. That confirmed the trade for me. That would have been a nice spot probably to size in a little bit. Consolidation over VWAP. Again, we get a little sideways motion at about 10 a.m. Steve often talks about that, and that's a good one to watch for. We had a leg higher there. And then I've got a 2-day VWAP that I like to see strong stocks get over and consolidate. When I start to see it go sideways here, I basically said, hey, look, I've taken a big chunk of the move. It's pretty early in the day. Why don't I take some risk off the table? I can always re-enter later. So for me, that was how the trade went. I was pretty happy with that. So we can see 931, 793.50 entry. That's stop, like I said, 785. I didn't quite get back there, so that was good in this case. Profit target 820, didn't quite get there. Trying for a 1 to 3, and the exit in the end was a 1.5R. So that was really just 2 hours 7 minutes later, and we're out. So I saw that momentum slowed on the 5-minute chart. The range was compressing, and if I see the VWAP going flat or flattening out, particularly after 11 a.m., like it starts to give me the notion that things aren't really going to move much and tend to get chopped around. So I've learned from experience that's a good time to move on.
Yeah, as opposed to, so that's an advanced trading point that you're making there. You want to see VWAP trending up as opposed to it starting to flatten out.
Yeah, definitely. And that's something I've just learned from experience recently, making notes, reviewing my trades, and it's helped me a lot. It's just, for me, it's a buildup of all these tiny little things.
You said something interesting. You noted that you trade high beta particularly well, and you're starting to see that with your stats. Are you starting to conclude that you are better trading these high beta names?
Yes, I think I have enough evidence to say that.
Yeah, what strikes me also is your use of technical analysis. I see that quite often when traders are successful with high beta names, is that they are seeing that in their stats, but they're also tend to lean on the more technical side. Now, to be successful as a high beta trader and be a technical trader, you're going to want to find the ones that are doing the best or doing the worst. The ones that are going to, really have order flow behind them to help you out a lot.
And I think that's where my comfort level comes from. I feel like I have a better feel for what's going to happen, and I think the thickness of the order book, the volume, actually helps me there a lot. I don't feel like it's just going to really snap back without some sort of catalyst and get me completely chopped up. So this is a trade, like I say, that I entered very early on strong confirmation of S1 and a sharp move higher. This is not something I usually do, but I like the idea. I am working on refining ways to take advantage of strong morning drives. So that's something for the workbook back there. In this case, like I said, there was an opportunity to add extra tier at 10 a.m. But I was in at full size, and that was fine for me at that point. I didn't want to go further. I'm trying to work on this idea of enough and not having FOMO, and there's trades here that I'm watching right now that I'm like, okay, yep, that's still going, and that's perfectly fine. There are more opportunities out there. So really having this kind of mindset of there will be another, there's no point worrying about missing out. And that allows me to sort of free things up a little bit. So yeah, like I say, I was prepared to exit with a failure under VWAP, which we didn't see. There are a couple of tests for sure. 800 was also the inflection point, and I was looking for whether that could sustain through there as well. But yeah, in the end, it actually went through. So that was really great. Another opportunity to add some size between 1005 and 1020 around the 802, so that's confirming the inflection point. And probably could have sized down a little earlier than I did. I have a little tendency to overstay sometimes, being the optimist. So my profit target was 820 and we weren't quite there yet, but I think I got out at the right time in the end, and I was actually pretty happy with that. Kind of flatlined for the rest of the day. Pretty new to this. I have a long way to improve.
Now, is that your baby in the background?
Yeah. She's half months old.
You are on Flappable. a lesser trader would have gotten a little perturbed, perhaps.
I've had a lot of practice. She's lovely, and it's a lot of fun. But yeah, man, what a handful. So she's our first.
Okay, congrats.
Yeah, so thank you. With that in mind, basically,
I have two young kids, and they'll bust in at any moment at this point, and probably knock down everything we're doing right here as well. So give it a couple minutes.
Fantastic. I mean, it's all about the focus, and she's just been such a great thing in our lives. So we're really stoked. So with that in mind, baby steps. Basically, I'm trying to just iterate, regularly, very slowly, in incremental ways. Just like, my daughter goes from flopping around on the ground to rolling over to now I can sit up, now I can crawl, little bits at a time. And to me, that's actually been the most powerful thing that I took from all the S&B training stuff. It's like there's so many things to do. There's so much area for improvement for me, basically. But I thought, look, let's start really basic. And there's a long list of things that I know I can still improve on. And I'm excited because, hey, like, it's great. I'm doing the things that I focused on doing now, and I'm seeing a little bit of success. And what I'll do over time is just fold in those new elements. I'm going to improve this little part. I'm going to improve that little part. I'm pretty happy with the approach that I've taken here. For me, I work really well with a structured routine and reflecting on that regularly. I actually need to sort of get away, step back, go do some meditation, etc. To really sort of bed that in. And so each day I'll remove something that doesn't work and I'll bring something in that does and try it out. And if it doesn't work, I'll remove it the next day. So kind of low overhead way to improve the process. Important to me has been sort of like maintaining the positive mindset. You mentioned about Shark trying to trade with less stress, and that's something I heard, I might have heard you say in one of the YouTube videos, but basically that's something I was like, actually, that's a really great idea.
We had a virtual happy hour yesterday, and we were talking about, hey, what are some of the things that people are doing that are really helping them? And, it seems counterintuitive that a huge, great trader like Shark would be working on de-stressing, be working on limiting his stress. I think there would be a thought that big traders, large traders, they have to get used to handling a lot of stress. I would think that that would be the thought that most people have. You know, as I become this bigger, better trader, I have to just get used to holding bigger size and holding through pain and dealing with some fluctuations in P&L. And it turns out all of the elite traders that we have at the firm and that we work with outside the firm, all of them to a person are working on making their trading less stressful, and all of them, as they make their trading less stressful, are making more money.
I would tend to agree with that from what I've seen, like many nights now. Like one of my goals has been, basically have fun, take it easy. Don't worry too much about these kind of, little things that set you off. And yeah, no, it's really great advice, and it's been super helpful. So yeah, like a big part of this methodology or routine that I have.
Well, my sense is your meditation is helping quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
I find that when I skip some sessions in I do more mindfulness training, that when I'm hitting my mindfulness sessions day in and day out, I'm literally a different person, and maybe Carlton can attest to this. I'm literally our floor manager. I'm literally a different person when I'm hitting my mindfulness sessions day after day after day after day, than as opposed to I miss a couple of days. I feel it in my body now, feel it in the way I think. Much more productive when I'm hitting my mindfulness day in and day out, and think much better, much more focused. I can sustain my focus for longer periods of time, more open-minded, able to take advantage of the exciting opportunities in the marketplace better, because I'm in a better mindset.
Couldn't agree more. That was something I realized pretty early on, that for me, doubling down on the meditation was going to be a really big lever, a strong pathway for improvement. And I'm on a 40-day streak, and I basically hadn't been doing any before that right now. So I'll be keeping on with that. That's one of the last things that I will change. If anything, I would do more.
Don't break the chain.
I know, exactly. Thank you, Jerry Seinfeld. So yeah, writing in my journal a lot. It helps me in conjunction with the meditation. I use it as a sort of tool to stop me jumping into things when I feel like I'm getting a bit like, chasey. It also helps me get thoughts out onto the page, which gives me clarity, which usually leads to better results. Just even if it's avoiding trades that look good at the moment and get you excited, and that's been something I've worked on for sure. Writing my goals before bed, that's definitely been useful, and reading it first thing. I used to have like a page full of goals, and now I've really just refined it down to 2 or 3 things, and that's helped a lot. Usually it includes like be consistent. Be consistently profitable is ideal, but consistent first in the process, focusing on process. So in conjunction with the meditation, my approach to managing my emotional state is to sort of burn off excess energy or nerves with like push-ups or chin-ups or like whatever, do some squats, jump around, just get out the energy, and then again it allows me to sort of be more clear-minded. And the last one here that's been super important is TraderView has been my second best investment after the DNA course. It's really just shined a light on, hey, go and do more of this, go do more of that. You're making twice as much out of options, go and learn more about options. Okay, good, this is really handy stuff to know, and it's actionable. So yeah, that's where I'm at, and super excited to be part of all this, and what a great time to be alive.
Sam, well, great job making a change. Very excited for you. Really appreciate your contribution to the trading community right here.
Hey, go ahead and click our subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos that we're producing for you in the trading community. And please take the time to add your feedback in the comments section for what videos you'd like for us to produce next and what you found helpful from this video. From all of us at S&B, train and trade well.